What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today we have the opportunity to actually do some campaign, which I usually don't do on my main, mainly because, well, we don't really get to clear any stages. But the thing is, if you look at the leaderboard, I'm at like 6 to 10, which I cleared, so we are at 6-3-1 is the stage we're currently fighting. And, well, both of those No 7 and Lord Scorpion are at 6-3-7, so I think we might have some stages ahead of us that are pretty easy, so I think we're just going to go for that. Our main carry for the recent stages was actually ATD. Not too much attack, 41.7 mil. The thing about this ATD is mostly, well, we got Holy Armor, Defier, Giant Killer, Divine Block, which is, I think the role just looks awesome with all of those text-based modifiers. The most important ones obviously being Giant Killer, Defier, Giant Killer, basically giving us 100% more damage. Then we have an extra 30% damage, and then we have Holy Armor, which helps a ton against Valkyr mainly. Valkyr is really a pain, I have to say that. And with that and a Torch actually, which we should probably switch around for maybe an Endless Cane? Or we just go for the Melodic Strings. Would be an option too. Let's go for Endless Cane. And with the Torch we can survive her pinks a little bit. We are still at 2-star gear, which we desperately need to upgrade. And yeah, so that works out. For the other stages, I often see that actually my Starving Jara is a pretty good carry, which is kind of funny because we're Ship's Crusher, Hunter's Focus, not really any Giant Killer on here, 25 mil attack, and she's a Tenant. So yeah, that's the thing. And then we have TBB, obviously. And we're just going to fight some stages now, I think. Just going to see how well that works out. Against this stage, main hero you want to look out for is the Wraec. He's the fastest hero. And what makes him a little bit difficult, I should say. Oh, we should probably switch that up. Who do we take out of here? I think the HHA, and we're just going to swap in the Starving Jara for that. The Wraec is really the hero to look out for because he will inflict his Black Hole Mark, I think it is called. And this will usually end up with your lowest life dying at the end of the turn, and even if your lowest life is TBB, which is usually what you want to go for on such a stage, because, well, we have a bunch of CCable heroes here. Yeah, I think that was quite optimal. That was quite good, just losing out on one hero here. Pretty much alright. Now our lowest life is TBB, so I sure hope she doesn't get hit. And yeah, your lowest life dies to the Black Hole Mark, which means you don't really want your TBB to be lowest life. One way you can actually solve that is just to use a Suicide SDE. It will give you some extra CC, will give you some extra energy drain, which, well, if you look at the energy bars, we don't really need. But those assassins, you don't want them to break out, because they will often kill one of your heroes. The Saja, for example, has a lot of stun. She will be pain and inflicts damage over time effects. So does Ithaka. With Wraec, we have the Black Hole Mark problem, and Tussilago, well, I think she needs some time to actually stack up, get her stacks going, and then do the huge damage. But I think as long as we are in the situation where all of those guys are CC'd, it's lagging quite a lot, actually, because of all the damage over time effects here. Our energy feed is decent because they just regenerate energy by themselves, so they don't really need any form of energy feed. It just works, basically. So we just have a Demon Bell here on the SQH. We have a Mirror here. And we have ATD doing not that much damage, really. ATD is really not made to be in a CC team. That was a pretty clean clear. Reasonably well. And you can basically see it. ATD is our main homeowner. He has over 40 million attack. And still... our supports got pretty close in damage, despite not having as much divine power, or the SQH has, and not even remotely having as much attack. ATD is really only good if you're getting attacked, so the synergy is not there here. It's really not there. This might be a bit of a problem, because on this one I think it would be beneficial if our TBB got hit first. She's second lowest life. We could just replace the Star Alchemist Holmes Young if that doesn't work out. I mean, the question is, will he survive? If he survives, we don't have a problem, but I doubt it, because he has 5 dots on him, as you can see. And it's pretty low life, so Okay, he made it through the round. We don't really have a healer, or only healers from SQH, so we have to see if he stays around. Yeah, looks good, looks good. I mean, he has the all damage reduction from the glorious support from Asmodel, which helps a bit, so that's good. The Endless Cane is of course nice for longer terms, but really for those stages we would rather use an LFA, because it is possible. I mean, there are no Wraecs on this stage, so LFA would be much stronger. But I wanted to use ATD, and of course, when we face Valkyr stages, ATD is so much better because he has holy armor, he can survive, and he can survive 5, 6, 7 rounds against Wraecs, and eventually he will do enough damage to just clear them. I like to combine that actually with DGN, because we have a lot of debuffs here that are a bit beneficial. We have DDR debuff that you can see here. We have some speed debuffs. I just don't see, I think that's the speed debuff. And if we multiply those, we can actually outspeed Valkyr, which can lead to some funny situations where we actually 2 actives in a row, which is rather nice. But I love seeing those fights, like the double CC, the triple CC on those enemies, stacking up damage over time effects, stacking up debuffs, has a beauty in itself, and I think those are, at the moment, the fights I like the most. It's just somehow visually pleasing to see all those damage over time effects pop up, and just knowing that while we take our time with 10-round fights, the enemy is absolutely unable to do anything against it. And here is again what I described. Well, ATD not getting any stacks, not really being able to build up his damage. If they attacked us, we would be well in a good position to actually get some very insane kills here. But without us being attacked, well, ATD is a nice support hero and not much more, sadly. Okay, I think we're bringing the game to its limits here, loading 10-round fights. The strategy, by the way, with TBB, when I can talk about this, you really want to use her core. You could see there was like one hero not CC'd. I think it was the bottom Oberon that wasn't CC'd at the beginning of the fight. You can scroll back and see for yourself, and the core fixes that for you. It just has a good chance to CC heroes, or to twine heroes that are not twined, and that will eventually lead to the whole enemy being, all of the enemies being twined. And we obviously have a good investment into star spawns as well, into treasure train, and that leads to us having pretty good RNG. Other than that, you want to position your TBB in the slot that is attacked first, so whichever hero attacks here first, which is other Floras obviously, you want to be there on the slot that they hit. Not always is that possible. You just saw before, she wasn't lowest life, so that we had to sacrifice Star Alchemist Holmes Young, basically. And on some stages, especially those Sherlock Holmes Young Tick stages, you are just in a situation where you have to rely on RNG and hope that they hit her pretty early on before the rest of your team gets demolished. And, well, then it's just a bit of RNG. But we are no stranger to trying multiple times in campaign, so it's not really an issue. And when there is the opportunity to use that, and even if it relies on RNG, and we have to do we basically only have 1 in 4 attempts, that is really good. I still think it's one of the best strategies we currently have in Idle Heroes to deal with normal stages, because you can see that is just super consistent. We don't take damage, we just wait. Even if one of those heroes breaks out, there is not much harm, because, well, they don't really have energy. And that just works very well. The only difficult situation, both Starwing Jara and our TBB actually gain, oh, that was nice, actually gain energy when they CC an enemy. So if we have 1 or 2 or 3 heroes dying, well, then we are in the bad situation that we can't really regain energy. So then some of those heroes can break out, and some situations that can be very dangerous to have a hero break out. On this wave, actually this is a pretty good wave to show that Flora can be very dangerous, because she can start to regenerate life. Or wait, in campaign she can actually not, I think. Or, well, she should be. She should be able to regain life. Did she heal? Yeah, she healed. Quite a lot, actually. Bloody hell, that's a lot. And the Xias, they are actually insane as well, because they will hit 2 multiple layers of Unbending Wall. It's actually mental. Oh, that's an SQH stage. Oh, that's annoying. That's annoying. How do we deal with that? I would actually argue we go away from this CC. While we can CC them, I don't really think that's the way. It would be pretty easy to deal with that with LFA actually, so that's the thing. I think we want the block now. Do we want dodge is the question. I'm not quite sure if we want that. We could go for a Suicide EOS. That is kind of interesting. Suicide EOS, then get some dazzle on those enemies, making it harder to get consecutive hits on the same hero. That could be cool. Let's do that. Let's try this strategy. Let's just use that EOS. I don't even know which artifact is on that EOS actually. But she should die fairly swiftly, because her basic attacks the front row. That should work out reasonably well. I'm not quite sure how much dazzle we're actually going to get. She is pretty much lowest life, it seems. Yeah, she's lowest life, just got hit by the Starwing Jara. So that means she's lowest life. Yeah, the most dangerous thing on this stage, obviously, SQH pings, and we got the LFA Horrify. Which also means we don't necessarily want our damage dealer to be in the back row. Won't be too good. To get some damage here, we put LFA in the front row. We are getting hit, which helps a lot actually if you want to survive with LFA. Okay, now our sun is up. Now we can see if we can get some dazzle. I think it was with the Death Sun. I'm not quite sure. Ooh, didn't think about that guy. Okay, we might have a little bit of a problem here. Not quite sure if that was such a good idea, because once we get Perceptual Disorder on us, we are in a world of pain. Don't really want that. Don't really want that. And I'm actually not sure if it was this sun or the other sun that inflicted the dazzle. Talking about strategies here. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be enough damage. Maybe we go for Anti-Ranger or for Melodic Strings here actually on the LFA. We might even want a Ferric Investor. Yeah, I think it was the other sun that inflicted the dazzle. Sometimes you just forget about stuff like that. I mean, currently it's looking kind of alright, damage-wise. The all damage reduction from LFA certainly helps. I mean, we are kind of stabilizing, like the first rounds, they are always difficult. And to survive those pings there, actually kind of hard. But I think, like, while they have pretty high attack, I think it's not really... Oh, the sun just did a number on us. The biggest part of the biggest threat here actually is the... Oh, and there's the Perceptual Disorder. It's actually the HP and not really the attack. It's actually good that we got CC'd, because otherwise we would have poisoned our team here, and that actually helps. But I'm a bit afraid of the sun at the end of the turn, because that might destroy some of our heroes. The other hand might lead to big LFA active. Okay, Starchemist is down. Still in a bit of a bad position. Can't really hope for this EOS CCing us again. And he puts Perceptual Disorder on 2 of our heroes. That guy is a god, considering he has no... Oh, we got CC'd again, nice. Considering he has no sublimations, that is quite insane actually. But I mean, it's not necessarily bad for us to not attack. We are running ATD after all. We just need one good turn, one good active skill, we can wipe the whole enemy team. So, that... Oh, no. Not Dazzle. They actually did they did my strategy on us. And the Starwing Jara is... Oh no, that should be so bad. Oh, it was so bad. Why did we have to get Dazzled? I'm not sure if it would have been enough damage. Let's be real about that. I'm not sure if it would have been enough damage. But like... the Dazzle certainly didn't help. I'm surprised we are still alive. I mean, like, now the Dazzle helped us actually, because we didn't hit the SQH. We have glorious support on both of our teammates. So that's kind of interesting. I mean, I wonder what's going to happen here. I didn't expect to survive this long. Didn't get Perceptual Disorder this time. Got a few hits in here. I mean, like, the question is, do we get, like... Oh, okay, nice. I mean, it's kind of surprising. It's now round 9. Ooh, that EOS, son, bloody hell. Go away with your perception. Oh my god, that comes with perceptual disorder again. We don't have here, so this dot will be insane. Oh, it will be insane, and probably going to kill our ATD first, because he has such low life. Oh, killed everybody. Insane. I want to see the damage numbers here. Look at that. Well, it's not even that much. It's like the SQH had way more. And there are ATD. I mean, the strategy obviously sucked. We don't really need the EOS. The EOS didn't help us at all. That was quite bad, actually. So we really need to substitute or something else. We could go for DGN. I like DGN. Let's go for DGN. And give that another attempt. Because I'm pretty sure we can clear it. Which core do we even use? I mean, like this Core Liberation 8 core. Core Liberation 8, by the way. Also kind of cool. Attack armor is usually quite good. We could also go for this. Though I'm not sure I necessarily want to outspeed the enemies. Because that will happen once we have a DGN and the core active. Then we will actually start outspeeding the enemies and we don't really need to control damage. I think we want to have that. Could also go for SQH. I like the ATD core, by the way. Such a cool core. Increases holy damage. And it has a very cool effect. Ah, come on. For one round, we go for the ATD core. Just because it's very cool. And I like those chariots. The chariot effect is very cool. I really like that. It's good that we now have the opportunity to actually clear some stages. I'm pretty sure we can clear this stage too. Didn't look too threatening. It was mostly a matter of our strategy here. We survived very long. And you can see that's kind of the game that you play when you use ATD. You just want him to survive a lot of rounds and then build up some damage. And now we're running Endless Cane because, well, we have the time to run a few rounds to really build up our damage. And you want to be hit. You want to be hit because every time you or one of your enemies with glorious support is hit, you actually profit from that. And the interesting part here really is DGN kind of similar in that. Because we have the mirror now on ATD as our highest attack hero. And when she is hit or he is hit, we will trigger counterattack and she will provide some buffs for him. And now you could just see the chariots here. Every time one of our heroes attack, you will basically see those chariots attacking the enemy as well. That's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. Pretty good that we got the perceptual disorder on the EOS because we have no sun up yet. So that was one of the biggest damage dealing factors in the last round. I mean, that kind of out of the game, pretty good. Honestly, one thing that I'm missing a bit in the campaign is like an effective Ferrocene Vessel. Because we really don't have that. We would need way more attack, actually, on our Ferrocene Vessel to have her really be effective. And maybe even some divine power, because there are some good effects for healing in there. But I don't see myself investing into that. Because she's not really talent for any hero that we care for. And neither are effects that necessary, because we can just use other means of heal. But I find her heal to be quite lackluster in most cases. And yeah, that's a bit bad. I think we're already outspeeding the enemies, are we? Are we already outspeeding? Because that's what basically happens when you run DGN with ATD. ATD has this huge, I think, 80 speed debuff, and you will start to notice that this is now on the enemies. In quite the numbers. So that's the thing. Yeah, and we're already outspeeding the enemies. Quite fun. Building up some shields here through HHA. Thanks for that, Starving Jara. No perceptual disorder. The bad thing is we now get the sun. Yeah, there's our sun. So now we're basically a bit on a timer. And this round will lag. Trust me. This is going to lag a lot. Okay, and it will sway a bit between us outspeeding the enemy being faster, just because they obviously purify some of our debuffs while we build up new ones, and yeah, that's the game now. And reducing the attack is also pretty effective, actually. Can be multiplied as well. I'm actually looking forward to building up DGN as well. If you've seen my DGN review recently, 25 attack debuffs, by the way. If you've seen my DGN review, by the way, you know why. Because, well, 50% attack debuff and then multiplying that, that will be a whole lot of fun. I think we're looking at a big actor skill now. That lagged. I love it. Like, you get the big damage when it lags, which is also, by the way, a thing in another game that I played in Borderlands 3, actually, where it was also like, it was the time where you had, I don't even know what the weapon was called, redistributor or something, and you shot that, and then like, the game started lagging, and the more it lagged, basically, the better the damage, and I think this is the same case here, actually. So quite fun. And I think we're looking at an uber solid clear here, because that looks really, really good. Sun is also not dealing that much damage. Oh, probably I jinxed it now. I hope I didn't jinx it. But the combination of DGN and ATD is actually quite nice, because they work so similarly. And I just like those two together. Okay, now we got rid of the SQH, so the mean pings aren't that mean anymore. Well, then again, you just see how little those pings actually did. Did like nothing. We're at full HP, full shields, against an SQH stage. Absolutely solid, I like it. Very tanky team. Really a very tanky team. Oh, we lost some HP there. I talked too early. We lost some HP there. Now the enemy is going to lose that LFA. Should be able to survive another round easily. Okay, yep. And there it is. The clear did pretty well, I have to say. I mean, like, incoming damage-wise, not too much. Even the Starving Jar did more than the EOS. I think the EOS could have been dangerous, but yeah. DGN, not bad in terms of damage. And quite promising if you think about that. We could bring it to Divine Power 6 in the future. I can see that. Okay, I mean, this is Screaming CC, by the way. Ignis hits slot 1, so that's the thing. I think we're just going to go back to TBB here. Going to go back for Starving Jar and switching the core over to TBB again to profit from the solid CCs, and I think this is just a matter of waiting, though we should keep in mind that those Ignis also provide control immunity, so once they die, we are going to see some high control immunity units on the enemy field, and yeah, that's the thing. So, but like, I think one part of this is actually like knowing which waves you face, and maybe observing it a bit if you don't know. Like, of course, now I knew, well, Ignis is going to attack first, she's going to attack slot 1, so TBB in slot 1 makes sense. But this is, of course, something you could observe by just doing one test fight and seeing what's happening here. I think this is just now a matter of waiting and seeing if it all works out in our favor, because, well, Fiona can deal a lot of damage. She definitely can. Ignis can heal a lot, and, well, this wave is meant to be tanky. But we have more than 15 rounds, so it's a bit easier than Holo Campaign, actually, in that sense. Holo Campaign, where you only had 15 rounds, so you had to look out, you had to invest into damage, you had to get a lot of damage. Here we are striving for consistency. We're looking out for, like, clears like this, where the enemy can do nothing, and you eventually just chip them down. Because if the enemy can't kill you, well, you will eventually kill them. So this works out in our favor, and even some puny shields here can't really do anything against it. So we're on a pretty good way. Maybe we want to speed this up, actually. The game survives that. Ever so barely. Ever so barely. Yeah. We're not fighting this enemy wave. We are fighting the game here, it seems. That's an issue. Like, that was always an issue. Like, now the numbers went up in the game with ever so more debuffs. You can see, like, we probably have every debuff in the game existing at the moment on those enemies. And if you put a DGN in there, you're multiplying them as well. And then damage over time effects, because Starving Jar actually inflicts a lot of damage over time, so does TBB. But this looks pretty decent, I think. Getting the kill there. Yeah, looks nice. I like it. Just the Ignis left. And around 13 clear, I think. Pretty decent. And you can see now, she was pretty CC immune. Pretty CC immune. Couldn't do anything against us though. Good clear. I like it. Oh, we should have looked for the heals, because the heals are insane with Ignis. Is this already the wave we're probably not going to clear? No, it isn't. Okay, we are. I just wanted to see. Okay, we have no SQH this time, so this is going to be the same team that we use here. Is there any strategy we want to use? Stowing probably being fast will hit lowest life. Lowest life on this one is this guy though. So I think we just keep it like that because eventually the SDE is going to hit us and she's going to do a basic, which is going to hit the front row, which is going to hit our TBB and should work out. As long as the EOS doesn't get... oh, that works too. Okay, that was random, but that works. Now the core. Nice. Okay, got the full CC there. Didn't get a CC with Starving Jar on the EOS. Interesting. I expect her to be that CC immune, but obviously over the next turn that will change because actually TBB reduces the enemy control immunity. We will have one moment in here that will be a bit of a risk, probably when the Ferrokin Vesa breaks out of CC at 50% HP, which is her passive skill. And then there is another issue, obviously, with the EOS dying, which will also start her passive, which is the other sun, the Black Sun, and that might be dangerous as well. But other than that, I don't see us having any problems here. I think it will mostly just look like the other stage before. I almost don't want to speed it up because last time that led to some very weird imagery. And yeah, but I'm happy to show you guys a few waves that we can clear here. As far as I know, by the way, now that we're a bit deeper in the video, as far as I know, we will now have the Gala on Friday, so we can do some live streams. It's a bit horrible actually. I took a week of vacation. Not only for this, but I wanted to do Gala live streams. Was told by DH that it was next week, they said. And I understood it as next Idle Heroes event week. What they meant was like next week on Friday. So I guess I understood them now correctly, which would mean like this Friday will actually be Gala. And well, then we are going to go for at least an S-Core. I want to say it like that. S-Core is the target. If it's possible, I will go for more because I actually have more story and I don't really mind. If I can get an SS or an SSS core, I will do so. We will see. There will be a lot of live streams. I guess 4 or 5 I'm planning to. Most of them next weekend. Because I have to see, I obviously don't have time off in the week after, so I have to go for my normal job. And so we will do it in the evening. I will announce some live stream. It will be a lot of fun. Pretty easy clear on that wave. What's the next one? Next one, Unimax has a passive plus 50 energy, so he is going to start off by attacking the back row. We don't necessarily want to face that, so in that case, we want to avoid Unimax. Avoiding Unimax on round 1 works by being in the front row. If you want to avoid him entirely, you have to go in slot 2. And we can be hit by the pandas, which is quite convenient because the pandas will hit slot 1. The question obviously being if it's too much of a gamble to take 2 hits from those Unimax. But I doubt it. I actually think we're good in slot 1. As you can see, most of the time you're good in slot 1 with TBB. But you have to take some things into consideration. At least those. So, Gala... I have a few things planned. We'll obviously do some live streams. I don't really want to do some long live streams. And by the way, this is what I was a bit afraid of. Because if we were taunted, like our Starving Jar now is on the TBB, that would have been a problem. Because then we would have only CC'd the taunted target. If we instead take the few hits, then just take the hits on our back row. Take the hit from Panda, that is much more safe in that regard. We can also get CC'd, obviously, by hitting the Unimax, but that's not too much of a problem because, well, that only happens after we attacked. For the Gala itself, I have some things planned. One of the things that I have planned is that we will do one live stream where I just plan to summon like 500 LFA. I think that's quite cool. We have a lot of chests, so if we take one day where we summon mostly heroes that I already have in my bag, save up the chest, then we can definitely do it. And then we'll do just one live stream with 500 LFA summons, which I think is quite fun. So yeah, that is something. And other than that, well, we will do a ton of summons. We'll go as high up as possible early on and just establish a bit of dominance up there. The starry gems and all of that stuff is already prepared. Maybe I will prepare a bit more starry than I intend to use, because we can also do soul gathering at the same time. Summon some C-, use them for soul gathering, get that number up, because, well, there were quite a few people that just got bought a ton now in the auction house, way more than just me. I did it pretty early on when it was still rather cheap. But afterwards, there were also now quite a lot of people that just said, okay, I buy every single one that is in the auction house. And then the prices were at one point at 99 starry gems for a C- that retires at 100 starry gems, which was the most expensive that we have ever seen. Kind of insane. So we'll do it in Gala. And I hope I see a lot of you doing those live streams, actually, because it will be quite fun. It will be the most live stream that I've ever done over multiple days, like usually, you know. I stream like once a month, maybe, which is always fun, actually. It's not like I don't stream that often because I don't like it. I just don't like to stream when I don't know what I'm going to do. Like I'm not like in that mood. I like to at least show some event or something like that. So that's mostly the thing. So, but this time around we have a lot to show, so we will do a lot of live streams, and I think it will be quite cool. And I was aiming to do those during different times, maybe some early on, some later. Will be a bit more difficult now with the issues that I had with the age on that. But we'll see what we can do. Okay, that's the stage those guys are stuck at. Okay. I mean, we can't give it one attempt, but in reality, I know what's the problem here. That's the two Gustins. Yeah, so probably not doable with this team, actually. Because they reflect our damage, which is a bit of a problem. Let's try with Starving Jar. We can CC them, actually. The question is if I want to CC them, because that will reduce our damage. No, we don't want to CC them. We can use this guy, even though it won't do much good for us. And then... yeah, not quite sure which core to use, actually. Let's go for this. Let's try one attempt. And I think we're going to fail it. This will be one wave where I will have to put a bit more effort in. Will not quite be as chill as the last one we fought, as even the extra threat of Annabelle here. I didn't even see that, I didn't even think about that. I just thought about those pinks that we are going to face, because as you can see, it's just straight up slapping through our heroes here. Two heroes already in Unbending Will when we barely did a chip on those guys. So we're probably going to lose 2 heroes by turn 2. Yeah. Yeah, insane. Insane. Yeah, those Gustins can also heal. This is quite a problem. Gustin, SQH, Holmes Young, not really. Valkyr, those are the heroes that are now the biggest problems in the game, the biggest damage dealers, the biggest heroes that stop you. So I was kind of wondering what they're going to do when the new Void Vortex releases. Are we just going to see every single wave with Gustin and Valkyr? What are they going to do there? I'm not quite sure. But something like that. And yeah, we did no damage. Very good. DTV is really good against that. You're just waiting for this weakness disclosure active and then just smashing through those opponents works reasonably well. But yeah, also Gustin can energy drain. It's also quite fun. And probably with those Annabelles, we're not even going to attack this turn. Yeah, we're not, because, well, we have the Puppet over our head, which is a skill effect, can't even purify that. A bit annoying. A bit annoying indeed. And yeah, so now we get a big heal for the enemies, because that is what Annabelle does. Annabelle's still quite the cool hero. That's decent. Not really something that I would put in too many teams, but I've still seen her in some teams, actually. TUC, like in the secondary teams, she's quite decent to have there. Just have her pop up after one of your heroes died. She will inflict a puppet on the enemy, can be quite decent. I mean, we're reaching turn 7 here, but it's really not doing anything. Just sitting there, getting hit Okay, now he didn't active skill and now he's dead. Okay, I mean, we did some damage, but really, look at those damage numbers. That's not alright. That's not alright. I say that and we did much more. Yeah, so that's the thing. Heal. Nice. The heal from the Anabats is not from the Anabats itself, but it's from the puppet. It's that gets shown as there here. So yeah, quite the big numbers here. Well, I guess that's enough for this video. We're probably going to be stuck here for the moment, unless I switch to LFA or build up a DTV. But I wanted to do some ATD stuff, so that's the thing. Thank you guys for sticking around. If you've not already done so, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Maybe leave a like if you want. And with that, I wish you a great day. We'll see us in the next one.